Hello, everybody. I'm Derek,
I'm Steven.
if you don't know that already, and
Yeah.
welcome to the RC Lawn Chair Pilots podcast.
Hi.
And welcome back.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hopefully everybody's having a great day, great
Yeah.
week. Since last time we conversed with you. Is it really a conversation with them?
It is when they email us.
That's true.
Email us, rclawnchairpilots@gmail.com.
Yes, we'd love to hear from you. Because,
Or you can talk to us on Instagram, because in
it's
reality,
mostly him. you're
that's
talking to.
where we are. That's where I am.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it.
You look at it.
I
Twitter doesn't happen. Facebook doesn't happen either. I
I-
share a few things there. That's about it.
I don't do anything.
But yeah, you can reach out to us. Our email, like there is a contact us link through our Facebook page and stuff, so you can get in touch with us there.
Yep.
There's ways to reach us. And there's comments in the YouTube video, so go ahead, reach out to us, let us know what's going on.
Yeah.
Share with us.
We'd
we
love
love
to
it.
hear from you.
Yes.
Like, we really, really do love your comments and listening and hearing from you and stuff like that.
Yep.
It makes it feel like we're actually doing something that you enjoy. So it makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
For us. Microphone.
Remember that fail from last time?
From every time. It's like it's my first time using a microphone stand.
It's like you haven't been using one of these for the past 3 years.
Never. I don't use this one.
No, you have one identical to it, though. Except the screw on the base of it works.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
That's what gets me.
That's the one that I stripped the threads out of on accident.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Back in.
So
we don't have any news, do we?
Well,
Or do we have
I
some
do.
news?
I do.
Okay, what's your news?
So we've got our RC Lawn Chair Pilots, our RCLCP podcast Instagram page.
Mm.
I have started another one that is
Another-
specifically me. So it's
oh, yes.
RCLCP_Derek.
Yes, I have followed that.
Yes, you
I-
have. And
I-
a lot of people have. If you're listening, thank you.
Yes.
Welcome. I've been sharing a lot of stuff about my 3D printing journey.
Yes.
That has been quite the adventure.
Yes, it has. It's been pretty cool.
So I've been sharing a lot about my 3D printer journey. It's been a lot of fun. It's been going very well.
You can see.
You can kinda
part
see
of
it.
Just
Yeah.
barely there.
So I've got that going. I'm also going to share more specific things about like what RC stuff I'm working on, and we'll save this podcast Instagram page for bigger updates
Stuff
and
that,
sharing of other people's content, sort of thing.
yeah, and stuff that we do as a group together.
Yeah.
Like if we go to any stuff.
If we go to events, if we do any builds together, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you'll see more of that there.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
So that's really the only news.
Do we want to hint at the project that we've been working on?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So we've been talking about this.
We've got a couple things going that's involved with this.
Yes, but coming soon, we don't know how soon, but coming
To be
soon,
determined.
we will have a web page.
Yeah.
So we'll have links to all of the podcasts and the YouTube stuff on there.
Mhm.
We're gonna try to do blogging on
Yep.
there.
So build logs and project
logs,
updates,
yeah,
that'll go
and
there.
like anything that we talk about here, we're going to try to do some rundowns on there.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to get some more information about different stuff. I'm excited where we were at last time we worked on it together.
Mhm.
I think it's coming right along. We just need to.
Need
I think
to
we just
finish
need
it.
to pull the trigger. And then get
Yeah.
some feedback, and then maybe make some updates.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's where we're at with that.
I need to better learn how to use our our website builder software. So
I
it's
think you're doing pretty good.
it's
It is a learning curve. So,
It's-
but anyway, we will watch for that.
So with that, we're also working on a new theme song, new
Yes.
music for
New
the show,
music.
and new logo.
Yeah.
So
So-
which is all convenient because we're coming up on our 1 year anniversary. So it'll be a good time to make some improvements.
Improvements.
Not
Yes.
improvisations.
I mean, we improv the whole thing.
Yeah.
Almost.
Good times.
Don't ever do that again.
Yeah. I won't. All right.
So
Moving on.
That's the news.
New products.
What do you got?
Ooh. So it's not a new product I have, but it's just super exciting. The new FreeSky Tandem X20. My word.
Is it pretty cool?
Oh, it is so slick. Let me pull up the like what it. So if you get on Aloft Hobbies website, Wayne goes through and details it out and kind of blurbs about it for a bit. And my word, it is.
Is it pretty sweet?
It is. So it's all the capability of OpenTX.
Okay.
But with an amazing, simple, easy user interface.
All right, that's cool.
It has dual band technology, so at the same time you can run in the transmitter. You don't need any external module. 2.4 gigahertz and 900 megahertz.
I mean, I have two channels. I can run two on mine theoretically because I have that extra module.
True, but no, you
yours-
have to pick one and
Yes,
stick with it.
That's true.
This
I
new
can't run
radio,
simultaneous.
You can connect 900 megahertz and a 2.4 gigahertz receiver to it, put them in the same plane,
and do
fly, and
different
it'll
things.
pick which one it needs in the moment,
Really?
and it'll switch between the two. And they're working on coming out with what they call tandem receivers, where the receivers have both 2.4 gig and 900 meg built in. And it will still switch between the two as it needs. So, like, all the crystal clear, rock solid signal and telemetry you could ever wish for.
That is pretty cool. So that
And at an amazing price. Like, the very base model is $300.
that's actually very cool.
It's a screaming deal.
Yes, that'll be exciting. I don't know which one of us will be getting one first. Probably you.
Me,
but
because
You got things. You got
I've
stuff.
got things. So
But-
that's super exciting. My buddy's planning on getting one. When he does, he wants me to help him set it up. So I will be sharing what I learn as I go through that with you guys. So stay tuned.
That'll be cool.
But yeah, that's
Do you have any other products? Anything else new?
if you're interested, I'm using 3D Solutech PLA filament on my 3D printer. I'm also using a Wise Cam Black to monitor my 3D prints from remotely. I don't have like a remote controlling system, but I do have a remote monitoring, so I can create cool time lapses and watch it from work, which is always fun. You good there?
Yeah,
All right.
I'll eventually stop playing with it.
No, you won't.
Probably
so
not.
I've got those going. That's it for like new products, really.
I have nothing new. I haven't been buying anything.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly because I'm just saving up some money to buy some things, and so I bought a bunch of stuff, and now I have to replenish my supply of money so I can then buy some other stuff.
So much fun.
Yes, it is.
All right.
It's pretty awesome.
Shall we move on to latest outings?
Yeah.
You want to share yours first?
No, let's do yours first.
Oh, okay.
Yours is
So had the neighbor kids over last weekend to babysit for a little bit while their parents went out on a much-needed date, much-deserved date. And I broke out the SCX 24s.
that is cool.
They have young boys, so we took them out, got them in the front yard. And so I've got an island flower bed in my front yard, and it's got a water feature with a rock wall. I figured out how on one side of the rock wall, without just how it was naturally set up, I could climb up it and down it and kind of go up on, because it's a mound of an island. And I found a way to get up there using the rocks.
That's cool.
It's pretty fun, but it's really hard for little kids if you don't know the right spot to turn and get off the rock and back into the dirt, because otherwise you fall 6 inches.
Yeah.
And it's not going to survive that. It'll survive, but it's going to roll.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
you'll
I
have
mean.
to start all over.
Yeah. So what I did is there's at the bottom of the water feature, there's a whole bunch of small, like 1 to 2 inch size rocks. So just small little ping pong ball size things. And I stacked them up at the base of this ramp so that kids can easily go up or down it without having to get super technical. So it's now a much easier but still entertaining and semi-technical spine and ridge to drive these little 1/24th scale trucks up.
That is pretty cool.
It was a lot of fun.
That sounds like it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun
pretty
to.
cool.
It was. There's a video of it on my Instagram, RCLCP_Derek. Go check it out.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The boys really enjoyed it. Got me outside. That has been my outing.
That is the best part about that, is getting outside. So it's like I've been really busy with work, and
yeah, you have been, my word.
So today I'm like, I got done pretty much on time today, and so I get up and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go out and fly a little bit. The park was empty, and I was like, sweet. Well, life things came up, and it was an hour later before I was actually able to get out, and so I had to go to a different park because that park had gotten full. So I go over to the other park, and I get there, and the wind is blowing a little more than I wanted it to, with a little higher gusts than I wanted.
If you're not flying a glider, any wind is more than you want.
Even if you're flying some gliders, a little wind is too much, depending on on the gusts and stuff.
With my Spirit, to do the high start, they recommend you fly with 6 mile an hour wind.
Yeah.
Give or take 1 or 2.
It said it was 9 with gusts of 15 to 16.
Oh yeah, that's high.
Which is pretty high for my small planes.
Yeah.
But I had the slow stick, so I'm like, okay, so it's a little too much to actually fly, but I thought I'd get used to steering it on the ground because it has wheels, and takeoffs and just little bounces up and come back down, bounces up, come back down. I'd like that would be perfect. The wind is great because I'm not going to need a lot of throttle to get it in the air because there's already wind.
Yeah.
I just have to just enough to push it over the edge and bounce it. And I did that a couple times, and as is my traditional luck with every plane I fly, I'm not even more than 5 or 6, but apparently I had my wing or my rudder controls reversed, which is why first it was steering all over wrong on the ground. I'm like, this feels wrong, and every time I got it in the air, it was like it would go completely wonky.
Yeah.
Even just all I'm trying to do is level it out and drop it back to the ground. Like that's all I was doing, and weird things were happening. Well, if your
rudders
are reversed, then bad things happen. Well, of course, as per luck, bad thing happened. I'm only 4 or 5 feet in the air, and it flips up, rolls over, and smashes the stick at least a third of the way down. The motor comes off. Fortunately, I was like all my hops, I'd get in as soon as it got in the airborne, I would throttle it back down and then just, touch it back down.
Yeah.
So fortunately the throttle wasn't running because I done killed it as soon as I saw it roll up, and I, walk over to it and the motor's dangling again as it was the first time I tried to fly the thing.
Did it just break off the mount?
Yeah, it broke the tip of the stick, so the mount came out.
Okay. All right.
And it broke it about a third of the way up or so. Maybe only a fourth of the way up.
Dang.
So need a new stick.
Yeah.
But that has brought me to my conclusion that I am not supposed to be a pilot, an RC pilot.
That's rough.
Because every plane, I don't even have to get, once I get it in the air, like the glider, the Night Radian, once I'm in the air, that thing, I can fly all day long. So it's not the piloting part, per se.
Takeoff and landing.
It's the takeoff and landing. So if I'm only doing takeoffs and landings, the thing just crashes. It's like the first time it crashed, I didn't even crash it. It didn't even get off the ground. The motor just broke.
Yeah.
That was the first time, that's because it was the old motor and everything, that was understandable. But no, that's the universe telling me, Steven, don't fly.
Stop it.
So I'm at a dilemma right now, and I'm thinking of giving up the flight part of the RC hobby.
That's rough.
So I don't know. We'll see, because
I still say he needs to finish his tiny trainer put in the Aura Light board that he's got,
I got the board, yeah.
and fly that.
Yeah, we'll see. I got to get a new motor because that other motor is bad.
Oh yeah,
And
that too.
I don't know. I'm thinking if I go that route, I'll have to buy another A kit there.
Why?
Because I don't know if it's the motor or the
ESC.
ESC that's bad. Because my other motor doesn't fit it exactly, so I can't get a good.
Bring
test.
it over here. I can test it.
So.
I've got an ESC that'll fit it.
The motor or the.
I've got a motor that'll fit your ESC.
Okay.
So bring it over here. We'll test it.
I'm pretty sure. Again, I don't have a good tester for the motor either, but I'm pretty sure the motor is bad and the ESC may be bad also.
No, you can bring them both over, and I have ways we can test both.
All
That'll
right.
be fine.
Mhm.
So,
Have to bring those over and check that out. But
well, and thankfully, like, you can buy just the motor and just the ESC
Yeah, you
from
can.
Banggood USA for like $20.
yeah, they're relatively inexpensive for
Yeah.
that kit, the stuff that's in that kit.
Dang.
But I was thinking of buying the kit anyway, just because you get some extra parts and
You get the servos and the tools and
Parts
a few
are
other things.
parts are nice to have
Yeah.
extra parts floating around because you never know when you're going to break it. Actually, I do.
Yeah.
I know when I'm going to break it.
This is true.
If I'm flying, it's going to break. Because even when I take the glider out, like the front nose of the glass that protects where the motor and everything,
Is it cracked?
it's not, the glass isn't cracked, but the foam has been, I've never even hit it that hard. I've had a couple hard hits, but not so bad that but that foam's all crunched in. It doesn't fit the plate anymore.
Shoot.
So, and then, that one I've had major damage, not major, I'd say higher levels of damage.
Yeah.
The elf is destroyed. Like everything. The only thing I've never destroyed is the DJI, and that's because
It flies itself.
it flies itself. I don't fly it.
Yeah.
I just hey, go over here and take a picture type of thing. So
That's why I don't like DJI.
they're nice.
They're nice. They have a purpose, but you don't fly them. They fly themselves.
Yes. So it's a sad day for me because I enjoy flying,
Yeah.
but the universe keeps telling me that I am not to fly. That is the signal that I'm getting, and
I wonder if. So you have PikaSim and you practice on that.
Yeah, occasionally,
You should.
and I fly just fine.
Have you turned up the realism settings on it? Because default, it's turned to like 50% reality.
I don't know. I don't remember what they're set at. So,
But turn up the reality settings on that. Play with that. See if that'll fix anything. Maybe consider getting the Real Flight beginner pack or beginner simulator that is on Steam. It's like
I have
$25 or $30.
3 different flight simulators.
Yeah.
One of them is specifically for drones.
Liftoff.
Yes, and
You also have
can't
the
fly
Tiny
drones,
Whoop one.
and I have the Tiny Loop one, and I
PikaSim.
have the PikaSim, and I have one other one. There's even one that I can't remember that I paid for on Steam that was like $10 to $15. It wasn't very expensive. That I
It
got.
wasn't Real Flight, was it?
I don't remember. It may have been. I don't remember.
So, because Real Flight has a beginner version where it's got like 10 or 12 planes and a couple sites to fly at, but it's designed to just give you the basic trainer planes so that you can learn to fly.
Okay.
And its physics are different than PikaSim. And
Okay.
like I'll let you fly because I have Real Flight 8
Okay.
on my computer.
Is that one that I flew that one time? That was like 5 months ago that we.
Maybe.
Because you showed me a flight simulator on your,
Maybe.
and I flew just fine.
Yeah, it very well could be.
The simulators are not the same as real life, and I have
No, they're absolutely not.
like-
Real life is tricky.
like we've
tricksy.
talked about it a lot that getting simulation flying time is a great practice. I have come to the conclusion that if it is a great practice to do it, but you still need to get out in the real world and fly because it's not the same. And we've talked about that
Yeah.
they're not being the same. But it does give you some flying. And like my glider, even the Night Radiant, when I get that in the air, I can fly that thing all day long, and I can keep it up for long periods of time, even without having to kick on the motor to go back up. Like when I bring it down, it's usually because I'm bringing it down, right?
Yeah.
Unless there's heavy gusts of wind, which is that thing is super light. It doesn't like any gust of wind over say 10 or 15 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You see it goes like it's like ah. Anyway, it doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So well, I'm still up in the air, or not really. But
He's been grounded. Determining if it's permanent.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. There's still sea
Thankfully,
crafts.
There's ground. Like you can get your RoboMaster hooked up to your Trannis.
Yeah.
Which we started and never finished.
Yeah, I got that a good portion of the way. Like it was
like there's tons of good ground stuff that can be done, like other RC stuff. So you're not out of the loop. You'll just cover the rest of the stuff that we have not really touched yet in this podcast.
Yeah, and since we are focusing on the air stuff because pilots, but you pilot a boat.
We'll pretend you pilot a car.
And you can pilot a tank.
Sort of. Command a tank.
You command a tank.
You drive it or you command it. I don't know.
Anyway, we'll pretend.
There's plenty of stuff.
So we'll see. So that was my latest outing. That was today at the time of this recording. So I was a little bummed by that because I got a couple. I'd done probably 4 or 5 little bounces, because every time I had to circle back around to where the grass was a little smoother.
Yeah.
And do it again and then come back, and so, but it just seemed like every time I got to a place where I was getting ready to bounce it in the air, it's like a gust of wind and then it would go up and try to flip over and all. It was like crazy.
Yeah.
The universe doesn't want me to be a pilot. That's the conclusion I've come to.
To be fair, you do like to pick windy days or windy moments.
Was not
windy moments
at 3:30 this afternoon.
When you finally got out, it was windy.
Yeah, but
and you went anyway.
Well, and that's why I just wanted to do little hops because I figured there would be no harm in that.
Yeah.
Like. There should have been no harm in that.
Yeah.
There should have been no harm in that.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is kind of a downer, and I apologize for that. Let's move on to your. What is your next thing?
So project updates.
Phone. There we go. Project updates.
Have you
what
done
do you got?
Any project work?
Nothing.
Okay.
At all.
I have.
I charged a couple batteries.
Yay.
I actually have been working on my my office.
Oh yeah.
That's been my project is trying to get
about that then.
Trying to get my office cleaned up and organized and
make it a cleaner workspace.
Yeah, so I can actually work on things because I've got so much stuff. It's not coming very quickly, but it's slowly moving forward. I got to get me some more shelves and different things like that to help clean it up, but I don't know. That moves into a whole other project that my wife and we're going to be doing some major house renovation, and so my office might be one of those.
Fun.
Well, the whole basement, actually, since my office is in the basement. So we'll see. We don't know yet. That's to be determined. So I haven't done as much as I'd like, but it's like I've been getting things, trying to get things organized. Every time I go to Lowe's, I buy organization stuff. So
nice.
But
cool.
I was thinking of even moving my desk out for my RC stuff out to my shed because I've been organizing that. So between the two,
there you go.
Looking at different things. So, but you have a better project update than that.
I do have project updates.
That's kind of boring. I mean, it's still important. Like having a nice, good, clean workspace is super, super important, and it definitely helps your projects.
Oh yeah.
But it's not as fun as your build projects. And what do you got going on here? Because I know
I have not been printing 24/7, but I have been printing pretty steadily. So I printed a Benchy, the little tugboat. It's like the first thing anyone's got to print, and it came out.
Printed one.
You terrible person.
I printed a bunch of other things, mostly dice and stuff, but
Yeah. Oh, grab that white cube that's in the back there. So the first thing I printed was an XYZ calibration cube. Came out really slick. I'm really pleased with that.
For those of you who are
It's got a X on one side, a Z on the other, and a Y on the other. It's a 6-sided dice, but it just kind of helps you see how everything is performing. And then I've done other prints from there. I've printed some spice racks for my wife. I ran the 3D printer torture test, so it's got the overhang at different angles, some spires, some bridges, some tubes, some text, whole bunch of stuff, and that came out really well. For being just stock set up with a couple minor modifications. Because the Tomb of 3D Printed Horrors YouTube channel, he has a build video for the Ender 3 V2, and he recommends replacing the Bowden tube adapter on your hot end and the bed leveling springs. I need to get you all that stuff so you can update yours.
Yes.
He recommends replacing all that from the stock ones and upgrading them because it makes it better. Like I've leveled my bed in the beginning and haven't done it since.
Oh, I have to level mine every like third print.
Yeah, I haven't touched it in a while. So like my torture test came out really well. Like
yeah, this looks really good.
There's lots of stuff that I can improve.
Yeah.
But it's good enough that I can run with printing just about whatever I want.
Yeah, I mean you couldn't sell this.
No.
It's not like that level of quality yet. But it's definitely a level of quality that you could use. Like, and that's where mine was at. Like, I printed monitor stands and different things with mine, which have turned out amazing also. But this is a really nice print thing. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's hard to see on the video.
I'll put a better picture of it up here for you to see. And
this is really, really cool. I don't think mine. I haven't printed in a while. I need to. But this is.
Yeah.
And you printed it very nicely.
Thank you. So then I've also printed a filament cleaner. So it's this little clamshell box that clamps around your filament. There's a hole at either end to guide it through, and it's stuffed with foam to clean the dust off of your filament before it goes into the hot end, or through the extruder.
Through the extruder.
Or through the extruder stepper.
You just put that on the back side?
Yeah.
Nice.
What I want to do is you can print filament guides to hold your filament out away so it's not going into such a sharp corner going into everything. I want to print one of those and then put this brush above it.
Okay.
So that I'm not putting all that pressure down right there by the extruder stepper. So I printed that. That was a print in one place, and it's a hinged component. And it printed I pulled it off the bed, and it was all stuck because the hinge it sticks a little bit because it's such tight tolerance.
Yeah.
But I bent it, or I snapped it and made it close, and it holds itself closed and everything. It's really nice.
It's a nice little print set.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it was. You can pull the pieces of foam out; they're just set in. But yeah, I've been having fun. I use the Cura slicer. I've been learning all the different things of how that works and how to make it print the best that it can. And then I haven't given these to my boys yet, but I printed a couple P-51 Mustang card kits.
Where's the one that didn't you make one already?
I did. It's at work.
Oh, okay. Did you see, because I gave you guys the 3D printed wind-up car.
Yeah, I still have to do that.
You haven't put that together yet?
No, I haven't.
Actually, Rob let Dane do it, but and then later his son Dane put rubber bands on the tires on the motorized side to get better grip.
Yep.
So I'm like, that's awesome.
Yep.
That is super, super cool.
So yeah, printed that. Been having a lot of fun with this thing.
Yeah, those are cool.
Oh, and I've also printed a couple things for my father-in-law since he is the one that sponsored my printer. I've been working on stuff for him. So yeah, it's going. I'm enjoying the 3D printer. I'm working on designing a mount that will hold my receivers inside my planes. So for like the Stinson Voyager up above me, it has the SR6 in it, the Archer SR6, and right now it's just zip tied in place.
So you're going to build something that will...
I'm going to build something that it'll fit in, and actually it'll clip it in place, that I can then easily remove it when I want to. That way I don't have to cut zip ties all the time.
Nice.
So I'm working on designing one of those. haven't printed it yet. I've got a couple other things I need to print first. But yeah, I'm having lots of fun with it. It's an enjoyable hobby to add to my RC-ness.
It really is. Like what you can do with it is pretty cool.
Yeah, you just have to be very aware that 3D printing is a hobby in and of itself. You're owning a very finicky CNC machine. And very finicky.
Yes, to say the least. Yeah. But it's still lots of fun, and the ability to print some of your own replacement parts for things, or your own custom parts for items, is pretty awesome. Like what I did for the car, what you're doing for the
Voyager.
The Voyager there, like those, like. But
yeah.
I mean, it's even a whole hobby of designing stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like, or even a career, honestly.
Well, it's mine. I design things every day.
That's true. So, but it's still lots of fun.
Yep.
I think so also too. What else? You got something else?
One more project update.
Yeah. What is?
I
know what it is.
Got back to the Gentle Lady. I have started covering the wing.
Looks awesome.
So, I wanted to do. You're fine. I wanted to do blue in the center. I measured it. I thought I measured it right. I measured it wrong and cut it too short.
Was that measure twice, cut once?
Yeah. So I ended up going with yellow in the center, and I'm doing red and black on either end of the wing, and then my red and blue, excuse me, and then the wing tip is going to be black.
That's gonna look sweet.
Yeah. So it'll be nice because in the air I'll have good indicator for what direction I'm facing, like where's left and where's right. And then the contrast of the black will help it stand out that little bit more.
Yeah, you'll be able to see where your wings end.
Yeah. Yep. And I tried a new technique with covering the wing rather than doing a bottom piece and then a top piece.
You're doing the whole thing.
I did a wraparound. So you measure it out so that it can wrap. It'll fold over the trailing edge, and then you wrap it around over the top and then back around the trailing edge.
Okay.
And it was that measurement that I did wrong on the blue. So that's why. And I even had to modify it weird, and because I had cut it wrong for the center section, it was also cut wrong for the ends. So that's why I'm going to have black tips. So really pay attention when you're measuring. So I did that wraparound. I still need to shrink it in place, but it's all tacked down and glued in place.
Like, for those of you who are just listening, you need to check out the video and look for that because it looks pretty nice.
I'll put pictures up on my Instagram and share it to the main Instagram. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. I'm going to finish getting that covered up hopefully soon, and then I'll cover up the fuselage, and then it's just a matter of putting the tail surfaces on the fuselage, and it'll be good to go.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
That's going to be nice.
So, yep, that is it for my project updates. I have that leads, but that actually does lead us straight into our beginner tips.
Yes.
Of measure twice, cut once.
Yeah, not cut twice, measure once.
Yeah. Monocoat and just all the different coverings out there. Like Willy Nilly's is pretty cheap at $3 a roll, and they're 18 by 36 or 24 or something. They're small enough that they make sense for the planes that they sell, but it's still not cheap stuff to work with. No,
I mean it's.
You can buy rolls of clear laminating covering that you can use to cover an airplane, which is really cool. And that stuff's pretty cheap. You can buy like a 500-foot roll for $60.
Yeah,
and that'll last you
for a long time.
All the planes, but then you just have clear see-through planes.
Yeah,
which can be cool.
Yeah, but like when you're flying, being able to know where your tips are, where your wing tips are, and which way the plane is actually facing.
Yeah, where's left and where's right.
Yeah, is very useful, I've found, because that's one thing with when I'm flying in the day with the Radian.
That thing's all white.
It's white. Even when the lights are on, it's daytime. It doesn't help.
Yeah.
Like that one's more of a dawn or dusk time flyer.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see, because it does have markings on the one side, but they're
They're hard to see once you get any distance.
Yeah, once I'm out there
Yeah.
flying, it is rough to see the direction, because I'm pretty sure I've flown that thing upside down and didn't realize it till it got closer to me, and I'm like, wait, I think I'm upside down.
Yeah.
Which you shouldn't fly a glider upside down.
Well, and it's hard to get just a rudder elevator controlled airplane upside down.
Yeah, it's
and
not
to
impossible.
keep it there.
Yeah.
So, and then with
anyway.
the fuselage of the Gentle Lady, I'm going to do black and blue.
That's going to look sweet.
Opaque black and blue, not transparent.
Okay.
So that should look really awesome when it's up in the air.
Like, I love the opaque planes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's something that is just
There's
sexy about seeing
the transparent.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I completely agree.
You know,
But there's no details on the fuselage like there are on the wing.
yes, that's true. The fuselage is usually just solid pieces of wood.
There's like hole cutouts down the sides of the fuselage and along the top and bottom, but I don't care to show those, so that's why they're going to be solid. And that dark bar through the middle, will just help see and orient the plane.
It's gonna look. I think it's gonna look slick, pretty slick.
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited to see it in the air.
Oh yeah.
So and you know.
Oh, and I do need to start or work on the power pod for it. Speaking of power pods, sorry, jumping back, the SIG power pod that I got for the Spirit, I ordered the motor and ESC today.
Sweet.
It's a 2204 Race Star motor, 2000 kV. That calculator that I shared on our main podcast Instagram, that website, learned that apparently when you're calculating the thrust, we'll go into a whole different episode on this, but when you're calculating the thrust needed for an airplane, for just hand launched and flying the airplane, you only need like a third the thrust weight. So like if your motor puts out 300 grams of thrust, that needs to be 1/3 of the weight of your plane if you want like trainer
level
power flying.
Okay.
If you want to do an ROG takeoff, like rise off ground, found out it's rise off ground, not roll off ground. But if you want to do an ROG takeoff, the thrust needs to be half the weight of the model to get it off the ground.
Oh.
I thought it had to be more. So I'm sitting here, like, I'm doing all these calculations. I'm like, I cannot get a 6-inch prop
to give you
with
the
a
thrust that you
small
need.
enough size motor to give me the thrust I need without just absurd numbers everywhere.
Yeah. So, but you did some research and learned.
I did some research, threw it out on RC groups, and they're like, "Yeah, this is how I figure it out, and all this stuff." And I found the website, and they're like, "Yeah, you only need like a third the thrust, the thrust power of the weight of the plane to get it off to fly it." I'm like, "Oh, well, that makes this easier."
Yeah.
So I'll be running a 2200 or 2206, 2000 kV motor with a 4x6 or 6x4 prop.
Which actually means the motor that I had and the propeller,
Your
the
slow
prop,
stick one?
is way overkill.
Yeah. I looked at the slow
By
stick.
like triple what I actually need.
Yeah.
And that's even for the rise off ground.
Yeah.
Like, I could put the little 3-inch blades that they sent with the motors that I bought, and it would be probably right on par with what it needs.
Probably why they built it or put together the kit that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
So I learned a lot about how to properly design your power system. It's pretty cool. It's a super in-depth calculator, but it's very helpful.
That is actually very cool because I mean, I knew, like, we've not gotten into design. We've only talked about build and flying.
But design is like that part of design is very necessary because when you buy an ARF, it doesn't come with any of the electronics. You need to put your own in. And yes, it's going to recommend something, but if you're like, I don't want to spend $80 on that tank of a motor, I want to spend $30 on an equivalent tank of a motor. Because you will go with Emax instead of Rimfire.
Yeah, save yourself
$1,000. Not really, but still, you know what I mean. So and they don't like Rimfire motors. They don't have um, categorized by stator size and kV rating. They have a kV rating, but they don't give you the stator size like any other like a lot of other motors do. I don't understand how their power system works. They usually will list like their power output in watts, which is very important to have.
Okay.
Because you need so many watts per pound is a good way to determine the flying ability of the plane when you put it on.
Yeah.
So if you have like, I forget the exact numbers, but there's a certain watts per pound if you want trainer flying, and there's a higher watts per pound if you want scale flying, and a higher watts per pound if you want acrobatic or 3D flying.
Okay, and that makes sense.
Because you need more power to be able to make the plane do things.
Yeah.
Minimal power will get you off the ground and fly it gently. More power, you can do more crazy things.
Yeah.
So where was I going with that?
Design.
Oh, yeah. So when you're thank you. When you're building an ARF or a kit, it'll give you a recommended, but to like be able to find an alternative, that's a nightmare.
Yeah,
because every company lists their motors differently.
And that's a tricky part. It would be nice if there was more standardization across and I know there is actually some standardization.
There's a little bit, but not a lot.
It it is still a hobby.
Yeah.
And hobbies have a tendency to be very open.
Yeah, when you get into the
standards.
more really high-end performance motors, that's when you start seeing them listed differently.
Yeah.
And when you're at the really low-end cheap motors like Emax and Race Star and the Chinese ones that there's no brand name associated, it's just the gold and silver barrel. That's where they'll list just the basic stator-sized KV rating.
Yeah.
So, but I've got those in the mail, totaled out to like $25 with shipping. It'll be here in a week.
That's pretty awesome.
So I'm super excited for that. Once I finish the Gentle Lady, I may do that Power Pod before I do this Power Pod. I may do the Spirit Power Pod before I do the Gentle Lady Power Pod. Because the Gentle Lady will be easier to throw on my mini high start and take it to the park here.
Yeah.
So, which I actually need to actually build. I just have the rubber for it.
Yeah, the Gentle Lady is probably about as big as you want to go over here.
Yeah.
It's like my Radeon, which is just a slight bit bigger than the Gentle Lady
Well,
is.
and honestly, once I get the Power Pod on the Spirit, I will be perfectly comfortable flying it at our park.
Because you'll have
the
Power Pod.
I'll just throw it and just take it off just like you do with your Radeon.
Yeah.
Whereas to the high start, even with my smallest rope for it, which is 150 feet,
we have to
I will use the entire length of the park to stretch it out. And I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah. Well,
because then there's always people there.
There's almost always. When I looked out,
especially sport, like there's 2 baseball fields and they use it for soccer and football during the year, so it gets crowded fast.
Well, and softball and baseball, Little League baseball.
Yeah, right now is baseball season.
Yeah, so that's what was out there when I went out there, is they were getting out there with their baseballs. Usually the school is full of soccer players, which is right next door. But anyway, yeah. So taking that out there will be fun. Like there's enough room in the air as long as it's not they're not actually out there playing.
Yeah.
If there's just the normal 10, 15 people out there, it's not that bad. Yeah. Although I still get nervous when I got that Radeon on because it just is.
It's a heavy plane.
It's slow.
Well, and it's supposed to be slow. That's the idea.
Yeah.
The problem is it's heavy.
Yeah.
And if it hits something, it's going to hurt.
Yes.
The plane and what it hits.
Yes. Exactly. But it's still, I usually just take it down as quickly as I can once more than half a dozen people get out there. I get very nervous when I get out there. So,
there you go.
All right. I didn't have any extra beginner tips.
Ooh, one more question for you, though.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
So since you're considering potentially giving up airplanes, are you going to get yourself a rock crawler?
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about getting a rock crawler anyway, since I saw what yours would do. I was that's pretty cool.
But now are you like more driven to get a rock crawler as your next RC vehicle?
Yeah, I got to decide what path I want to follow, if I want to go like rock crawlers or if I want to go like the Speed Demons.
Yeah, more like a racing buggy or a truck.
Because like a racing buggy would be fun. I know the rock crawlers will go faster, but they're designed to go slow.
Surprisingly, I've seen videos of people jumping the SCX-10.
Really, the
It'll
10
go fast enough that you can jump
it because I guess
I don't
like
know
I
if that's a modded one, but I've seen people do it.
they will go fast. You know, they'll go. I think they'll top out at like 5 to 10 miles an hour, which is fast enough to jump something.
Oh, it was a good.
They
3 foot in
they
the
might
air
be
jump.
doing more, but I was looking at those.
Yeah.
So I have been. I don't know what I'm gonna. Right now, it's just up in the air of what, or not up in the air. the puns.
It's crying on the ground what it wants to do.
It really is, and I don't know. I enjoy flying.
Yeah.
I just am getting the hint from the universe that I'm not supposed to fly.
That's fair. It's sad, but it's fair.
Cars do get in the air when you jump them, but I don't know. A truck,
you have to do that on purpose.
Yes, I think like a buggy / truck, rock crawlers or like speed buggies that are designed to go over rough terrain and do jumps and may not be as fast as like some of the race cars, but be faster than like a rock crawler. Somewhere in that range kind of appeals to me because then I can take it anywhere and just go cruising. But racing seems a little unnerving and fun at the same time because they can go
we have a
pretty
couple
fast.
Indoor tracks here.
Yeah, I know we do.
I think the county's actually looking to build an outdoor track out by the county airport, the county model port.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they put a survey out last year or the year before on Facebook.
So maybe I'll start with a crawler because they're slower, less likely to break it.
No, the only way you're going to break it is if you drop it off something. You probably would.
So I will. I mean, there's nowhere here to do it, which I'll find somewhere.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, to finish that off, like I don't know.
Okay.
If you guys have suggestions or thoughts, because I know there's a bunch of you.
If you have any tips to get him airborne better, like make that more successful, share them with us, because he needs help.
Yeah.
And I can only go out with him so much.
Which we haven't been out
right
together.
Now I can't.
Yeah, you've been doing so much home stuff.
I do need to get the Stinson out because it's like I just need to finish programming it and it's ready to fly. But I am terrified of it.
Yeah, it makes sense to be afraid of that.
So.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other thoughts before we finish?
Don't fly on windy days unless you know what you're doing. I'm going to blame that for most of the problem.
I don't know. I mean,
I honestly, I agree you need more experience and more practice. Flying when it's not windy will help.
Well, I mean, that's what I was thinking because it wasn't windy when I thought about it.
When the wind picks up and you're still a beginner, you say, all right, I'm going home.
Well, that was me getting there. So like I said,
go home anyway.
Anyway, I almost did. I actually spent another 5-10 minutes sitting there debating on actually putting it out there. But
oh, well.
I mean, I have another slow stick, and I can replace the stick, so it's not. I mean, that
not a total loss yet.
No, the motor's still good. Everything is still good, except for the stick itself.
Yeah, you just basically have to rebuild it.
Yeah, I just have to go, take everything off, get a new stick, and put it back in. Yeah. So, not
there you go.
Super big deal, but I mean, I'm listening to the universe. So now, you guys, if you want me to keep out there and keep trying, then let me know, and then
give some good.
We can talk about it.
Solid feedback.
We can definitely discuss it. I'm not opposed to keep trying. Anyway, yeah. Anything else?
Nope. I think that's it. We'll go ahead and kill this one a little early this time.
Yeah, we're not like we've normally been, but I think it's my turn.
It is your turn. Yep.
Go ahead. Remember. When flying inverted, up is down and down is expensive.
Yep.
RPMs is how hard you hit the ground, And torque is how far you have to dig to get it out. And
Yep.
wind is not your friend.
Unless you're a glider and you are slope soaring
Anyway,
or riding the thermals.
thank you, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We'll catch you later.
See ya. May the winds be ever in your favor.